Hello everyone and welcome back to another professional prep video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the properties of derivatives. So we might have not really discussed solving derivatives yet, but we are releasing videos for those as well very soon. And once we learn how to take derivatives, these properties are going to be very important. So I just want to introduce the properties right now. And these are not going to be all the properties by any means. We're not going to talk about the multiplication and division, or product and quotient rules, I should say, properties of derivatives yet. Those are a little bit more complicated, but I'm going to get into some simple ones today. Constant, constant multiple, addition and subtraction rule of derivatives. So let's start with constant. So I guess that we are going to be learning some derivatives today, but they're going to be very simple and foundational derivatives for us. You should know that the derivative of any constant c is 0. That's as simple as it is. If c is a constant, its derivative is 0, and that's the constant rule. So now we know how to take derivatives of constants, and that's because constants are never changing. So obviously they don't have any rates of change. So that's a big one. And then let's talk about addition. So addition is also very simple. The derivative of, and this is also the same as subtraction. So let's tackle them both at once here. So just so that I don't confuse anyone here, I'm going to make it plus and minus. So plus or minus. It would just depend on whichever one you're using at that point. If it were subtraction, you'd follow the minus. You'd choose the minus sign in both cases. I'm about to do the plus minus again. If it were the plus, you'd obviously do both, but I just want to show everyone these two rules together. You just choose the appropriate sign, plus or minus. And that, by the way, is the derivative of f of x plus or minus the derivative of g of x. So this is the rule written out. All it means is that if you're adding or subtracting derivatives of two different functions or equations, you can split it up and do the derivative of each one separately. And so just for a quick example, but like for example, for the constant rule, the derivative of 7 is 0. For this rule, this is the rule written out, but for an example, say that we wanted to find the derivative of, we just learned constants here, so let's just do 7 plus x squared. So we can split this up into the sum, into the derivatives of the sum of each of them. So this is going to be equal to dx of 7 plus d over dx of x squared. We know 7 is, the derivative of 7 is 0. We will learn in our to be made very soon power rule video that the derivative of x squared is 2x. And we'll go over why that is in that power rule video, so please check that one out. But for now, trust me, the derivative of x squared is 2x. So that means the derivative of 7 plus x squared is 2x. And we just split up the sum. So the derivative of the sum is going to be the sum of the derivatives. And likewise, if this plus were a minus, it would be the derivative of 7 minus the derivative of x squared, which would be negative 2x. So that's your addition and subtraction rule. Simple enough, just like limits. Multiplication and product and quotient rule, I should say. those are a little bit more complicated than our sum and difference rules here. That one actually has a formula, but for now, that's our sum and difference rules. And now let's do constant multiple rule. Now this has a bit of an intimidating name, but it's actually very simple. It's going to tie into some products, but it's really not discussing products yet. So what I mean is, say that you had to take the derivative of a certain constant times something else. That constant's going to hang out in front. So for example, let me just do an example. D dx of pi is obviously a constant, times, let's do 2x. So in order to solve this derivative, it's actually very simple. It's just going to be, for 2 pi x, it's just going to be 2 pi. And the reason for that is because this constant just sticks in front, or in this case, at the end of the derivative of the second term. So say you have a constant times a polynomial or some other term, take the derivative of that some other term, and bring the constant in front and multiply the two. And that's why the derivative of pi times 2x is going to be 2 pi. And we'll go over the product and quotient rules in a future video, but that's all I have for you for this video for the basic properties of derivatives. Everyone have a great day. Please make sure to subscribe to our channel and email us or leave a comment if you have any questions. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you next time.